Good morning, everyone. So today I'm gonna be helping a buddy of mine. You've actually seen him in one of my videos before, William. He has a 1972 Harman Ghia. So he is gonna be bringing over his car. I'm gonna let him park it inside my garage and we're gonna be pulling the engine so we can rebuild it. Basically, William has been having a lot of engine troubles with his Ghia. This is actually, matter of fact, his second engine that he put in. Before he had a single port 1600, I think. He was having a lot of issues with that one. It was just leaking all over the place. And it turns out all his bearings were completely shot. It's terrible. So he got another 1600, this time a dual port. Lately, it's kind of been giving him some issues and now he's gonna get it towed over here. I'm gonna get the square back out of the garage. That way he can pull in his Ghia here and we'll start working on it. Still needs to warm up, but I'm really only moving it like across the alley, so we should be okay. Here we go, guys. The Ghia just made it. So we're gonna try to get it off this tow truck and get it into the garage. Oh no, it's all good. I'll go take you back. Yeah, so we can drive my car. Or you can actually drive my car. Let me test it out, dude. No?
I'm afraid, dude. I'm afraid. Like,
nah, it's all good. It's all good. Like, just don't blow it up.
I'm afraid,
Yeah, man, it's like really flaking. You think you're gonna be able to get it started to drive it in, or will we need a push?
Yeah,
it?
no, I can drive it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
There goes my buddy William. What's going on, man? So he's gonna drive it in. I'm thinking maybe pull it in forward so we'll have the engine this way and pull it out much easier that way. Thanks, guy. Oh, let's try to catch him, start it. A little more, a little more. There you go. I mean, it starts, it's just, it's real rough, huh? Yeah, dude.
And you know what's helping? I think what's helping a lot is that I installed the pressure.
Oh, the regulator.
Yeah, regulator.
What are you putting at? 3.5 or 3?
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
Yeah, so
yeah, just nothing over 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it helps, but
really,
still install.
But it leaks a lot of oil, and maybe you said the piston rings are bad.
I think the oil's not so bad. I put some additive to,
What what weight oil are you using?
I'm using the 1040.
1040.
1040 just because of the
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of juicy down here.
So, but yeah, dude, it's
okay.
Greasy. It's greasy and ugly. And,
yeah, so I mean, it should be fairly simple. I mean, all we're doing is just removing all the wiring, and then we're gonna disassemble it down to the bare block. And then you said the rear main seal and end plate, right?
The end plate, yeah.
I think maybe let's wait for it to kind of cool down. I mean, it really only ran a little bit, so it's not gonna be too hot. But let it kind of cool down for like a minute or two, and then we'll lift it up, put it on the jacks, and get started.
You don't want to drain the oil first?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I have a pan. We can drain the oil, and then we can get started after that. Okay, I went to go drop off William to go pick up his truck. I lifted up the Ghia onto the jack stands. These are the parts that William bought that we're going to be replacing. So he bought a set of pistons and cylinders, 85.5, since we're just going to be going back to the original 1600 displacement. He also got some new push rod tubes. These are like these vinyl plastic types, and then a whole new set of seals and gaskets. So we got to a point where we're almost ready to take the engine out. We have all the wiring out, the spark plug cables, all the other wiring. So now this one I think just needs to come off. Pretty easy with just some screws there. And once this is out, then we should be ready to take the engine out. The engine is almost ready to come out. We're just fighting one more bolt on the engine and transmission side. Once that's ready, I have my dolly, my floor jack, and a piece of wood. I'm gonna put that underneath and get ready to take it down. There we go.
Yeah. See how the tin would have been in the
Yeah,
way?
it would definitely
Yeah,
have been
it
in the
does
way.
get in the way.
There we go. Dropping slowly.
Okay.
All right, keep going. Nice. Easy.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
We now have the engine removed and sitting on the dolly, and it's fully clear of the transmission here. So in order to take this off, we have to do one of two things. Either lift up the rear so that it clears this fan, or we lower the front so that the car will go down that way, or we can do both. We can try that.
So
The engine is out of the bay. What we ended up doing was lifting from back here. That way the rear can lift higher and clear this right here. Yeah, dude, I think you are leaking a lot from your main seal here, because look how juicy that is. A lot of oil down here at the bottom. And you don't think it's coming from the transmission over here, right?
I think so.
It's like engine fluid.
Yeah,
It's not red.
yeah, it's not transmission.
red. It's not like.
We should be okay with the transmission. I think if anything, we'll just kind of, let me wipe my finger real quick. And we'll probably just clean up the transmission. We can probably lift this up on my engine stand.
Okay.
Or if you want to just chill and take a break right now,
Yeah.
let's
We can
maybe
take
let's
that.
look for some lunch.
Yeah.
All right, so we just had some lunch. Thanks, William. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so now we're gonna start taking this apart. I think before we're gonna put this on the stand, we're gonna take apart maybe whatever we can on the top end, like this, the alternator, whatever, the carburetor, all that stuff. That way it's a little bit lighter for us to carry onto my stand. I'm just sitting here. How's this coming along? You have that off already?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, the alternator just stays on there.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, because you can unbolt it right there.
Yeah. Like even if you unbolt it from here to change,
Oh,
you still
wow.
have the fan.
Oh, yeah. So then this needs
Yeah.
to come off before
Yeah.
the alternator. But here, oh my, look at how dirty that is. Man, I'm going to have so much fun cleaning that. I'm like actually looking forward to that.
Oh my
It's like really satisfying, you know, when you actually clean that. Man. All right. So looking good so far. The oil breather or oil cooler actually is on its way out. Oh, you know what? That's not gonna come off. This whole mount needs to come off first. So it's just this, and I guess somewhere down there. Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
this isn't gonna come off like that.
Yeah. This one is right there on the opposite side, right there.
Yeah, I see
It's
that.
inside.
Okay, it's a 13 then.
There's a pain in the butt though.
Yeah.
I know that.
Okay, all right, we'll get to that. I wonder if we need to take this off. before
Yeah,
that can- It
yeah.
does? Okay,
So we need to take the.
I see.
this-
Okay, so manifold, that,
Yeah.
this. Okay. This cooling tin is ready to come off. There we go. And now just these two nuts, and then this whole thing will come off. All right, most of the top end is removed. just struggling to get that out of the way. And then we'll take the fuel pump off and the distributor. But I think with the distributor, because the gear drive in there has to be clocked a certain position, and I'm only used to the type 3 position. I don't know about the type 1s. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this engine to top dead center. We're gonna remove the distributor and look at the position of that drive. Okay, the entire top end is all removed. We put it on top dead center, made sure it's on top dead center for cylinder 1. And just to look, is the light on? Hold on. Okay, flashlight is on. That is the line on that drive that we want to make sure we're taking note of. You can see the smaller semicircle is on this side, bigger side's there, and the line is pointing towards this bolt. So we have to make sure that when we're ready to put this on, to put it on in that same exact orientation. We have this bracket installed onto the block. We're just gonna carry this onto the stand here. 1, 2, 3. Or I guess we may not have to put our foot. Oh, now we do. There we go. Oh. Engine is on the stand. Whoa. Engine is on the stand. Now we're gonna remove the exhaust and then the heat exchangers, and then from there we'll start working on the valve train inwards.
I don't know how. Or I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, dude, everything is loose on this thing.
Yeah.
Look at all this oil. Oh, dude, I can write my name on here.
Right.
J D. Exhaust ready to go. Go ahead and pull that off. Let me hold this guy.
Yeah.
Nice. We also have the heat exchangers already loosened here. And here, before we can actually take those off, I think there's 2 more screws down here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's I think it's a 10 mil. So
Yeah.
1, 2, and then 3, 4. So
Okay.
4 of those, and then the heat exchangers will come off. Look at all this grime in here, though. Oh my goodness, dude! There's like not a single spot that is dry. Everything is just. I mean, if it's leaking oil, it's got oil, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So we're taking those 2 off.
This one is stuff.
Oh, oh wow.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones that actually goes on top. Oh, same as over here too. Exhaust and heat exchangers are all removed. Damn, keep tripping on this stuff. Exhaust and heat exchangers are now Jesus. They're now removed.
Have to hit it.
We're just taking off the last bit right there, and after all the cooling tins, I think we may take this off too, but we have to take off this pulley first before we can get that off. All right, so I put this clamp thing here to keep the flywheel from spinning, so William's gonna use the impact gun on that. So go ahead and take that off. Yep. There you go. No, that was actually surprisingly loose.
Loose, yeah.
Okay. Valves are coming off. After that, then the 8-cylinder head bolts right behind it.
Okay.
What I did on mine is I replaced these pins right here. This
Really?
thing. Eventually they wear out because they're supposed to have some sort of like point? Sort of. And sometimes they kind of round off. And actually, I'm looking at it right now, and they look super flat. Yeah, you can see it. Take a look right here. You see that? It's like right up against the entire valve. Let's take a look at the back once you have it out. Yeah, bro. Look, they're all flat. That's flat. That's flat.
Just flat.
Completely flat. What are these called? Push rods?
Push rods.
Yep.
Yeah.
So William is going to be reusing these original push rods, or I don't know if they're original, maybe they're replaced, but yeah, he didn't get new ones. So these look like they're in okay shape. So it's good to make sure to put them in the right or the same orientation as when you took it off. So I made this box here and kind of just drew out flywheel, pulley, cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're putting it there so that way when we're ready to put it back together, we're going to put it exactly the same way it came out. All right, so ready to take off the cylinder head. So like I said, there's 4 nuts down here and 4 nuts up here. And the thing with that is that these 4 are pretty wet because of all the oil down here, but the ones up here are pretty dry because they're kind of not getting wet. So I just put some penetrating oil. I think PB Blaster is what I used. But you want to be careful when taking these out because you risk pulling out the entire stud from the case there, which can potentially add other problems to yourself. So if you don't want to replace these. I mean, if you already know you're going to replace the studs, I guess it doesn't matter. But William, I don't think you have replacement studs, right? Okay. Yeah, so we're going to try to save these studs as much as possible. So, like I said, I put the penetrating oil already, and I have my heat gun here. Oops. I have my heat gun. While William takes off the 4 on the bottom, I'm going to heat up the 4 on the top and kind of let that warm up. That way it's easier for him to take off.
Oh, dirty.
Okay, so cylinder head is now ready to be removed. We have all the nuts removed here. Now start using the dead blow or mallet or whatever, and make sure you don't break any of these fins. You just have to be careful and kind of like tap here, there, all around, and then eventually this will just pop off. These push rod tubes may fall off, it may not, but that's fine. See if you can pull it out this way, because there shouldn't be nothing left holding it down. So if anything, it's probably just, oh, there it is, coming out slowly.
Maybe they put that
Yeah.
seal.
What some people do is they shove like a flathead right here and they pry it out, but they end up breaking the fins. So it's not the best method. I'll hold on to the push rod tubes, and 2 of them are still stuck to the thing, but that's totally fine. There you go. And look how nasty. Flip it over. Flip it over to view this side.
I think it's gonna have oil.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh man, look at that. I mean, this side here is actually really dry. Cylinder, what is that? 2.
2.
Cylinder 1 is actually pretty juicy,
It's
both top
burnt.
and the bottom.
That's
It's completely burned, dude.
I look at all that oil. Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Look, it was. See, this one is all dry, and that side is.
It's
number 1
it's
is
all
completely
wet, dude. Yeah.
I'm like, what the?
Oh my goodness.
What the French toast?
What the French toast?
Look. Oh my god.
And I mean, it looks pretty
Freaking-
solid. I was gonna say the machine shop, they do a head job and they take both cylinder heads and they actually flatten this out and then they remachine everything and make sure everything's all nice and square. Here, I'm just gonna give you these push rod tubes. Those.
Man.
And you're not gonna reuse those anymore.
No. Look.
Yeah, it's probably not in the best shape.
Nasty.
This is actually really, really important. A lot of people miss this here. What that does is it helps keep the air directing through these fins rather than just escaping out of here. So as the air goes through this way, it forces its way up here. So what some people do is they forget to put this on and it just completely overheats the engine. So we're gonna take this off. There you go. Now these jugs should be able to just come right off. Same thing, you can either use a mallet or a dead blow or just elbow grease, but these should just come right off. I'm actually gonna try to tap it a little bit because normally from between the jugs to the cylinder head, there should be no form of gasket or anything, no paper gasket.
Really?
No, yeah, exactly. It's just metal on metal. So that's why the machine shop will rely on making sure this is completely flat and square to the cylinder head. But on this side, some people will use Permatex, some people will use RTV or whatever. Yeah, so it kind of gets a little stuck. So it may be a little bit more tough taking these out compared to the cylinder head. I'm just gonna kind of lightly tap it. Oh, you see that?
Yeah.
All right, you want to do it to that side?
Yeah.
This one just
See,
top
this
and bottom,
one,
top
I think
bottom.
even water might have been.
It might
seeping
have, dude.
Because it's like rusty, right?
Yeah. Just be careful not to. I mean, I guess we're replacing these anyway, so even if these fins break, it doesn't matter. But I mean, if you can take it off without breaking it, that's always the better choice. This one's ready to take off. That should just slide right out. There we go. Nice.
Look where it was rubbing. Huh?
Oh
I guess.
man. I mean you
there's
can
some
kind of see some of the
scratches, huh?
scratching in the
Yeah,
crosshatch.
right there.
Yeah, dude. And these are probably no good. Both of the jugs are now removed with the cylinder head. Pistons are here. Now we're just gonna remove this entire other side, cylinder 3 and 4. Okay, so we're down to the last nut on this stud, and it's being an absolute nightmare to take off. So I am blowtorching it so the nut expands, because every time we try to twist that nut off, not only does the entire stud come off, but also the insert that is inside the case, and that just doesn't work for us. So we're trying to burn this until hopefully it melts. I'm just kidding, it's not gonna melt, but hopefully the metal will expand, and then hopefully William can find the socket and wrench, because he walked around and he completely lost it. Got him, coach. We got the nut off and the stud is there. So yep, this flame, where did I just put it? The torch. that guy right there saved the day. All right, cool. So we got that out, and you can see cylinder 4 actually has a lot of leaking. Look, you can actually see it still dripping. So that has a lot of oil. Cylinder 3 is actually surprisingly really dry. It looked like cylinder 3 and 1 were okay, huh? And 4 and 2 were just really, really wet. When we were removing the cylinder head or the nuts, how many of them were loose here? Like,
shoot, like 3.
Yeah, out of the 8, 3 of them were just loose, like hand tightened, and a 4th one was super tight. We got to the point where the pistons are now ready to come off, and what you want to do is remove those clips there, this clip there, and then get the wrist pin out, and then the piston will come right out. So that's one pin, or circlip, or whatever it's called. You want to take this guy out. Now with those clips removed, I'm going to take off the wrist pin. We finally got it to the bare block, and you can definitely see how badly this looks with all the leaks. It's just completely, like, look, it's caked on here with just decades and decades of oil. We're thinking the bearing rods, or the rod bearings, I mean, they're not in the best shape, but they're not in the worst shape either. They barely have any play side to side, but in and out, it's not bad at all. That's fine. Here is okay too. And over here, let me turn off this radio before I get copyrighted. What we're gonna do is clean up as much as we can here. We may eventually replace all of these studs here. William is gonna be taking a bunch of the cooling tins and a bunch of the other parts and clean them up this weekend. This is gonna stay here in my garage, and we will continue cleaning everything up. The disassembly portion is all done. Now it's just cleanup work and reassembly. Okay, day 2 of working on the Gia's engine. Right now we're focusing on cleaning everything up. We have a bunch of degreasers here, and the block is just absolutely filthy. Like, I've been cleaning this up. It's coming off. It's just really grimy. William over here is also cleaning up a bunch of the separate parts here. Oh man, that's just absolutely filthy. But yeah, he's been cleaning this on the back of his truck, and I am cleaning this here. So William was cleaning the cylinder heads here, and he noticed this one is for cylinder 3, and the exhaust valve is completely cracked right here. So I think cylinder 3 was the one with the lowest compression.
Yeah.
I mean, zero compression basically.
Zero.
Because of that. We may just end up taking this to a machine shop and get the valve job done, or the whole cylinder head situation done. They're gonna replace all the valves, the valve guides. They'll machine everything flat and everything. As is, this is gonna be no good.
And oil's coming out of it.
Yeah, it's already seeping everywhere. So honestly, dude, I think it's probably best just to get it done at the machine shop. Back to the madness of this engine. Get off.
I was telling your brother that.
The double nut master strikes again. There it goes. Coming right off. Okay, so William did a really good job in cleaning up this block. We have all the studs removed here. Some of the inserts actually came off. That shouldn't be a problem. We'll just throw them back in once we're ready to put in the studs. But right now, I have the clutch and the pressure plate removed right there. And we're gonna try and remove this flywheel using the 36mm socket and the impact with the wheel lock here. Actually, we need to tighten that down just a little bit so it doesn't spin. And then if you could hold that, William, I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. Ready? Got him.
No.
We can take this off here. All right, just slide that out. And then this, man, there is a lot of end play. Let's try to take off this flywheel and see what it looks like underneath. Okay, the flywheel is removed. So there's supposed to be a rubber O-ring in here. Feels really hard. They're gonna have to replace that when the shop does the rear main seal, because this is definitely where it's leaking a lot right here. And look, you can even see the shims right here. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
So when they do the end play, they're gonna put the right amount of shims. Actually, what they're gonna do is they're gonna try to take a guess at how many shims they're gonna have here.
Okay.
They're gonna put the flywheel on and then measure it with the dial indicator.
Yeah.
Basically, if they put it in and it's still not within tolerance, they're gonna take it out, add more shims, and then bolt it up and redo the whole process again. Yeah, that's something that I personally can't do just because I don't have the right tools and the patience for that. So I think it's probably best for the shop to do that. Rear main seal, hopefully it shouldn't leak again. I mean, you can see a lot of oil coming here. It definitely was leaking here a lot. Maybe even from this plug here too, because it's really, really gross here.
Right.
Let me actually show you why I think we may possibly need to replace the bearings because of the amount of end play there is right now. See, it moves quite a bit and it should really only be very, very minimal. So I don't know if we can get away with getting the end plate done with the shims in there or if we absolutely need to replace the bearings. That's why I definitely would like to have a second opinion. The bearings on the connecting rods seem okay to me. I mean, they could be better, but I don't know. So let's see.